So, Valentine's Day coming up very soon. I have some beautiful Explorer red roses here. I'm going to make a hand-tied bouquet. So, I have already removed all the lower leaves that are going to be below the waterline. I'm now going to remove the outer guard petals. It's just this more scruffy petal from around the outside, just to tidy them up, neaten them up. It's not detrimental to the longevity of the rose, just makes them look that little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So just removing those, and obviously don't forget to save those because they can be scattered in the bath or on the bed or on the table when you're having your evening dinner. So yeah, don't waste those. They can also be dried. So just removing those, and it's a very simple thing to do. I just find one. There you go. So just put your fingers down the inside of the petal, right at the very base, and then just gently tweak it to one side and remove it. So we have a dozen red Explorer roses. I'm going to use this beautiful foliage here, which is called Cocculus. Just removing the lower leaves, again, that are going to be below the tying point. I'm also going to use everyone's favourite Gypsophila. Now, this particular variety is Snowball. Really big, really fluffy, very airy and quite romantic. I'm going to use about 10 stems of the Cocculus. The Cocculus is a really nice foliage. It's a nice hardy foliage. It's good shelf life, nice dark green shiny leaves, and you can always use these to wire up if you've got a buttonhole or corsage that you're making up as well. So I'm going to start by creating a little group, tied group of the Cocculus. We've got a little tiny bundle there. I'm trying to keep the stems spiral. I'm going to add a piece of Gypsophila in the centre. Still maintaining that nice tight tying point, and then starting with my roses. I'm going to find a nice straight stem for the centre. There we go, that's a lovely one. And then thread that through the centre and through the Gypsophila. That stands nice and tall in the middle. Then gradually build up the rest of the roses in a spiraled circular form. And maintaining that spiral binding point. And keep your hands nice and loose so that if you do need to make any adjustments with your roses, you can. I'll show you what I mean. So you see I've not tightened them too tight, so you can move the roses up and down so that they have a nice even balance within the hand tied. And now starting to build up a little bit more the next layer, if you like. Again, keeping that spiral going with the stems. Just remove a couple of the lower branches of gyp here. Gyp does love to stick to itself. You have to be quite delicate about how you separate it. If you're a little bit too enthusiastic, you can rip the heads off quite easily. Just adding that piece in there. Remove that loose piece at the bottom. And then some more of the Cocculus. And continue on our way with the roses. You can see how we're getting that nice balance of shape there. And again, just adjusting the heights. Some more gyp. Just going to work that little piece of Gypsophila in through those roses. Adding another little piece of gyp there. And some more Cocculus. And we've got 3 roses left to add. So we're going to put one there. And then checking on our balance. Just see where your eye naturally indicates where you need a rose. If I turn this so you can see we've got a bit of a gap there. So I'm just going to pop a rose in there. Feeding it through, but maintaining that spiral shape so it stays in position when you tie. And then finally another one just to tuck in there. And again, just feed it through your hands so it stays in position quite happily. Finishing with a few more stems of the Cocculus. And then just tie the stems with green twine. It doesn't have to be green, we do natural as well. But the beauty of using the natural twine is it is biodegradable. So everything about this bouquet, before we put these plastic trimmings on, can actually be recycled. So it can all go in your recycling bin. Just tie that off. Now the beauty of having a hand-tied bouquet is that can then be kept tied. You can trim the stems to whatever level or length you want them, and it can be popped into a vase exactly as it is. Okay, so you have the hand-tied or 12 red roses there. Now I'm just going to add some cellophane to that just to finish it off. Just taping the base. These are folded pieces of cellophane, squares of cellophane that have been folded back onto each other, so you get in effect 4 points. That just makes a nice finish to the bouquet. Just folding those around the bottom of the stems. Sticking those together, hold it in position. And I always like to use 3 pieces because I think the 3 gives you a good all-round finish. There we go. And just finish off with a little bow, just to tie the ends together. At this point, if you did want to do a hand-tied bouquet in water, you could then bring cellophane around the bottom of the stems like we have done on our previous live streams and our previous how-to guides. On this occasion, just leaving it as a hand-tied out of water. And that can happily be transported in a bucket of water to its destination. And I'm sure you'll be met with huge approval and appreciation. So that's our hand-tied of red roses.